take a look at our next match. It is going to be Draco against Sen. And the match list is going to be Fighting Spirit for map 1, Destination for map 2, Outsider match 3, if needed, Tornado for 4, and Andromeda for 5.
Draco and Sen, I think these guys are pretty evenly matched. They're also very old school players, so I think we're going to have some pretty awesome games. Neither of them have been incredibly active, but at the same time, I certainly think they're some of the best non-Korean StarCraft players of all time. I have no doubts about that.
Oh, certainly, certainly. So let's take a quick look at Draco first. Now, Draco, this guy is actually so much better than anyone even knows. Now, everyone talks him up as one of the greatest of all time, and he's actually even more than that, folks. He is unbelievably good. He was in Korea for quite a while, about 8 months, as a team member for OGN Sparkies.
And you know, when you get that kind of experience playing with the best, of course, the Korean professional gamers, you can take that knowledge with you and come back here and really dominate in some non-Korean tournaments. So just as we said with Hydra, he has been training with the best. Draco has had that type of experience as well.
That's right. You know, in the 2006 WCG, he almost knocked out a bunch of Koreans. He won the PGL. He won Nostalgia this year. He got second place in the last TSL to JF. And he's just so good, man. I don't even know what to say. This is Draco. He is a legend in our scene, and overall as well. Overall, man.
Overall. He is also, if you guys are familiar with the original TSL, he placed second place in that. So this guy has proven that he can get all the way to the finals. Who knows? He might even do it again here.
All right, well, let's take a look at Sen. And this guy, wow, he is also one of these big names you hear everyone throw around, just like Mondragon, just like Draco. What a great player this guy is.
Sen is... I can't emphasize how good this guy is. Of course, Artosis and me are both competitive non-Korean players, and I gotta say, Sen has actually manhandled me more than any other Zerg on the planet. This guy is just very, very good. He's got a really nice, clean style. And he's somebody you just cannot forget when you're talking about great Zergs out there.
That's right, and Sen is in the interesting position where he has been able to play both in foreigner tournaments and Chinese tournaments from time to time. And just a really great player. You see here his notable achievements. He has made it into the actual bracket stage of WCG Grand Finals 3 times. Really, that is something very, very impressive. He has returned out of retirement recently to join the Duskman team under management of Ash. And he played Protoss for a little bit in there, but he is back to full Zerg, and his Zerg is as strong or stronger than it ever was.
A lot of the pro gamers I've talked to have said they think Sen is a very strong Zerg. I've seen him almost knock out countless Koreans in the numerous WCGs I've attended, actually, where I started my casting career at. So having watched him play first person, I can definitely say he is a force to be reckoned with.
That is right. Well, let's take a look at the first map we're going to be playing here. It's going to be Fighting Spirit.
Fighting Spirit, it's a pretty standard map. I think it really makes for some great games. You know, they come out with new maps every few months, and I think this is one of those maps where they wanted to play it safe. It makes for some pretty exciting games. Oftentimes a lot of macro games, and I think with these two guys we can expect something pretty damn cool.
Yeah, man, you know, PVZ on this map, we see it is so even at 12 and 12 for these map statistics. And, you know, this is the one match when I was going through predicting brackets, this is the one match I didn't even bother to call because I just don't know how this is going to go. It's, like, impossible to say.
Yeah, especially because neither of these guys are in tip-top shape. These are players that have survived through the ages. Anybody who's a competitive player has probably practiced against them or has studied their replays, so this is going to be awesome.
Indeed it is. I think it is time to go, Tasis. I don't want to talk about these maps anymore. I just want to watch Draco vs. Sen. This is the most exciting match, in my opinion, from this round.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. It's going to be pretty close. Let's get this thing started.
right, here we go. This is the PokerStrategy.com Team Liquid Star League, and we are in the second set of the first day of the round of 16. We just saw Zowsy versus Hydra, and now we are on Draco against Sen. We have Draco as the white Protoss in the top right of Fighting Spirit, and Sen in the bottom right as the blue Zerg.
On this map, we can expect to see Protoss fast expand. It doesn't mean Protoss is restricted to just that option, but I think fast expanding, if you can get away with it, you might as well do it. Now for Sen, we could see a very quick spawning pool. He's great with these early 9-pool builds or overpool builds because he gets those speedlings out there and then stops you from seeing what he's doing. And that's just something that can really help him out a lot. Macro-wise, Sen is easily one of the scariest Zergs. He doesn't have to trick you to beat you.
That's right. You know, Sen has always been known as a macro player overall. He's been macroing for years and years before people even really got into the whole macro thing. So I think Draco might be in a little bit of trouble if he has not been practicing a lot lately. I'm unsure. You know, Draco keeps very quiet his practice schedule. So it's hard to say exactly what kind of shape he's in, but this guy is actually much better than anyone really realizes. Back when he was on OGN, he was absolutely destroying all of their A-teamers that are playing Pro League nowadays and top 4 in OSL. So this guy actually had unlimited potential as a pro gamer. It's really too bad that he ended up having to go home.
And you know, one other thing about Sen, I've sat behind and watched many pro gamers play, and this guy mechanically is superior to almost anybody. And I saw him back in, I think, 2005 in Singapore. I just looked at it and I said, whoa. You have amazing hotkey usage. You are very clean with your actions per minute. And I got to hand it to the guy. It's paid off. So if he's gotten that ability back, if he's in a little bit better shape, he can certainly utilize that to get himself out of a sticky situation.
Yes, we see the probe now. Draco made a little bit of a mistake there. He could have blocked the hatchery, but he did not catch the drone going back down. So the hatchery is going up without fail. And he gets the spawning pool. In the meantime, Draco back at home, throwing up his own Nexus before the Forge, and that's going to give him a stellar economy to start.
When you do fast expansion as Protoss, it's really important that you space out everything perfectly. You can see Gateway before Forge, so he's saying, you know what, I can squeeze that out a few seconds quicker. Here comes the Forge next. Note the positioning. That'll allow 2 cannons to be put in place over there. And of course you may see another pylon and Vespian gas guys are taken next.
That is right. You know, pretty standard play here from Draco. And Sen as well. We don't see a third hatchery quite yet. Well, yes, we do actually. Top left.
Oh,
at
wow.
That natural. Kind of a sneaky one there. You know, that's going to be something easier for Draco to attack.
Okay, I know this strategy. I know what Sen's planning on doing. This is, it's a starvation technique. What happens is if Zerg actually secures another expansion in a location on the map like this, and gets Sunken colonies up there, he gets a free 4th base later on. So what happens is that as the game pans out longer and longer, the Protoss gets more and more and more behind. However, if this expansion is spotted and Draco deals with it correctly, there's no way that Sen's going to be able to recover. So really, Sen is going to have perfect execution here for about the next, I would say, 11 minutes.
11 minutes.
11 minutes. Maybe 3 seconds and 0.3 repeating. But I'm going to say roughly, that's what my tasteless senses are telling me. They're tingling.
All right, well, thank you, Gret Torp Jr., with your exact math on exactly the right time. But no, you are probably just about right on that. And the thing is, Draco cannot expand to the bottom left, you know, and he really can't truly expand to the 3 o'clock little base right there. That's going to be hard as well. So, as you said, starvation tactic. I like this idea by Sen. As long as he can keep it alive for now, he should be in good shape.
One thing to note about this technique is it's much more common, or it was much more common about 4 years ago or so, maybe even a little bit more than that. So nowadays Zergs don't normally do this. They normally tend to hug around their main and slowly push out. So Draco, being a player that's played through the ages, he might have experience against something like this. He's going to have to go into his old school playbooks. We do see a Zealot now moving in here. He's going to go for some drones. No kills yet, though.
Oh, Sen is so good with those drones. Pull them away, and really doing such a great job keeping them alive, letting them get down to just one hit from the Zealot, and before pulling them, look at that, perfect every time. Sen's timing on saving these drones, I have never seen even a pro gamer do it that well.
Oh my god. I just can't believe how good his control was there. Yeah, that was a big loss for Draco. I thought actually Draco was going to get at least 2 or 3 drones. Turned out to not be the case at all. Note, however, that Draco is speedily rushing towards that Corsair. The Spire is on the way. As far as we know, Draco has no idea about this additional base over here at the upper left. So until then, Sen should be in the slight lead intel-wise.
Yeah, now Sen has a bunch of speedlings outside of Draco's base, so he's not going to be able to scout with really any Zealots and or probes. So this is going to make it so Draco has to fly towards that expansion with his Corsair, which I don't really see happening. I think the Corsair is going to go down, check on Sen's base, make sure there's Spire building and nothing, no tomfoolery going on, you know? So he's going to scout this base extremely, extremely late, and I think that this is just going to give Sen a very nice lead.
We see the evolution chamber up here, so that's another indicator that in fact Sen is going to turtle and try to wear down Draco. We'll see if Draco actually has good enough timing there. With the evolution chamber, you can get the Spore Colony, defend the Overlords, as well as spot Dark Templars in his base. If he gets a few Spore Colonies, Sunken Colonies, and Lurkers up at these 2 entrances, base at the bottom right and base at the top left, there's really not a lot Draco can do.
That's right, but I like Draco's build really quite a bit. He's getting the +1 upgrade for his Zealots. It's going to make it so Zealots kill Zerglings in 2 hits instead of 3. That's a really big deal. And he is also getting Zealot leg speed, which is going to give him a lot more mobility, make his Zealots engage the Zerglings even faster than before, and he's adding a lot of gateways in his main base. So basically what he is doing right now is using his Corsairs, you know, they're going to be anti-muta, harass Overlords a bit, scout the map out, and then get a lot of pressure on with mass speed Zealots with +1 upgrade.
He's moving out now, and remember, we don't know if Draco spotted this expansion. It doesn't look like he has, as he is going towards the bottom right now. Ideally, he would be going towards the upper left, and it looks like there will be defenses here in time, but it's also tough to say. His Zealots move down now. Sunken Colony just completes. He's got to get these Zerglings in good position.
You know, right now, he has a very good Sim City here. His buildings are placed extremely well. That evolution chamber above the Sunkens, the hatchery to the left, the hatchery on top, the Zerglings surrounding. Really no way for Draco to break in there with just Zealots. He would need a much better army composition, you know, a bunch of Dragoons in there to help take out the Sunken and whatnot. So right now, these Speed Zealots not doing a whole lot. Top left, if we take a quick look there, the same setup but with a Hydralisk Den. Man, Sen is good at this game.
Excuse me, he is very, very good. The positioning here is just perfect. You can see Draco, he wasn't using those Corsairs to scatter on the map, so suddenly he's saying, well, wait a minute, there's got to be another base here somewhere, and I think now that he spotted the bottom left, he says, uh-oh, he probably has the top left. And once you see Zerg do something like this, you have to say to yourself, all right, I'm in for a 30-minute game. And as I've shown you, as we played at home, the technique for Protoss to normally beat this is to just mass expand, make cannons, and tech up to things like Reavers and get a lot of Archons. But of course, look at Sen's positioning. Where on earth is the Protoss going to expand with ease?
That's quite right. You know, I think that the only base that Draco can really take at this point is going to be 12 o'clock. And we see Sen does have a Zergling up there, so he's going to know immediately if Draco tries to take it. And right now in the middle of the map, a lot of Speed Zealots coming out for Draco once again, and the Zergling's just kind of scouting that out. But he has Lurkers in his natural. It looks like these Zealots are not going to be able to do any damage still.
The more Zealots that he makes, the worse the position he's going to be in as time progresses, because since Sen is basically teching up to get ready for a very long game, he's going to have things like Ultralisks, stuff that Zealots are not particularly effective against. So eventually he's going to have to switch over, start expanding, and spend all those minerals on cannons, try to secure as many gas bases as humanly possible. But we don't know if that's going to be too effective so far.
That's right, and look at this, a lot of Speedlings come up. They have +1 armor now, so they can battle those Zealots again on fair terms, but there is an Archon with them, so he's going to see that Archon, and I'm sure he is not going to engage any longer.
Okay, the Zerglings now moving up to the expansion over here at the north. Nice block here by Sen. Oh, wow. Excuse me, Sen actually losing much more than I expected him to. And actually, all those Zerglings are going to bite, bit in the dust. Whatever tense you want to put it in, bite in the dust, bit in the dust.
Is bitten really a word, tasteless?
Bitten, it is now.
All right,
It's
excellent.
in the tasteless vocabulary. Okay, so the expansion's a little late here, but let's face it, Sen's not going to stop him from getting that up. We do see, looks like a Queen's Nest on the way over here, and Zerg is taking the 4th base up here at the top left.
Yeah, and, you know, without a shuttle, that 4th base is going to be impossible to take down. And we see now Sen is starting to hatch Mutalisks from all his bases, and this is pretty common. You know, he gets these Mutalisks out, and these are going to be timed correctly to try to snipe out High Templars. You really want to kill as many High Templars as you can. Even sacrificing, you know, up to 11 mutas, killing these High Templars is, you know, just a really great move, because the Psy Storm is going to rip apart your Hydra armies. So just eliminating some of those is going to help your mid-game push with those Hydras a lot.
Well, the next question we got to ask ourselves is, where does Draco take the game from here? It's very unlikely, and in fact, it'd be amazing if he actually takes out one of these bases. That would take perfect execution. Looks like he's actually going to try that right now. But if he doesn't, then he's going to have to figure out in this complicated chess game where he's out of position where he's going to go. So, okay, hold that thought. Oh my god, lots of mutas now going into the main, and you can see that Sen knew that his opponent did not have the necessary defenses. Now flying in there, he could take out a ton of these probes as well as vital tech structures. Draco's all the way across the map, and over here, Draco now attacking this expansion. We do not see lurkers. So it looks like it is possible for him to get in there. A lot of action going on here. Both players taking heavy blows.
That's right. Let's look back at the mutas in the main base of Draco, and they have taken some Psy Storms. Draco is going to kill Sen's expansion for sure, it looks like. But Sen over here sending in some more Zerglings. Lurkers burrowing. Will Sen be able to hold this? If he does, the game will be over.
2 observers moving over here now, but it looks like just barely Sen actually saves his expansion. And he will take out these observers as well. Oh my god, very nice play by Sen. You know, he had to choose, okay, how much time am I going to spend controlling my units at home versus how much time am I going to spend actually, you know, killing units in my opponent's base with my mutas. Now he can actually counterattack here. Doesn't look like there's enough to defend this. He can take out these cannons, and of course from there just target fire the Nexus. I don't think there's anything that Draco can do.
You know, Draco didn't even play badly this game, but Sen is showing why he is such a monster, why he always makes it into the brackets of the World Finals. This guy, so good. Look at this. Every move he's made has been well thought out and well executed. He is just flanking everywhere. He has so many units at this point. He is up higher supply than Draco. Maybe by only 1, but guess what? He's Zerg, so that makes a huge, huge difference.
Yeah, Zerg normally are going to be 20 supply behind you. Looks like Draco actually barely holding on to this expansion here. And probes turn out to be heroes here. Maybe not for long, though, if this lurker can get behind. Here, wow, take a look at that. Congratulations, Draco, you did kill that lurker, but it's only a matter of time, it looks like, as Sen will continue to send more and more attacking units, particularly lurkers and Zerglings in this case, and clean up this game.
Quite true. You know, he has those 4 bases up. He has crushed the armies of Draco. Now sending a lurker to 12 up behind the mineral patches. No cannons there any longer, so Draco now has lost that mining expansion. And I think from here, you know, Draco, what can he possibly do, Tasteless? You are a good PvZ player. Please let me know. You know, he's lost a lot of probes. He's not even being able to mine out from this base. I don't see any observers. And Sen just has a lot of hatcheries. He is really starting to macro here, and he has an Ultralisk Cavern in his main base as well.
I mean, frankly, all he can do is get a shuttle and get shuttle speed and use Reavers to defend these attacks. And try to do, I don't know, a few storm drops here at his opponent's expansion. We don't see much Scourge or Mutalisks out on the map, but realistically, there's nothing he can do. I mean, he has just been crippled so badly. This is such a severe blow that it's almost impossible to recover from.
Well, he does finally take out that lurker, so he can start mining again, but a million Zerglings coming in, probes trying to block at the ramp, and doing actually a really great job. But guess what? These Zerglings have Adrenal upgrades, so they are dealing damage to these Protoss buildings and Dragoons at ridiculous paces.
Well, nice control here by Draco again, but remember the probes that are being used to defend this expansion, he's doing a great job of that, by the way, they're not actually mining. So he's not really getting the benefits of this. He has not even taken the Vespian gas geyser at his expansion. And that's one of the most important things he needed to get, because really it's Vespian gas-based units that allow you to win in games like this. And of course, with Zerg having 4 extractors in the game, Ultralisks can finally come into play.
Well, it's going to be 5 extractors soon because Sen has just taken 6 o'clock, and Sen's economy is insane. And look at how low he's keeping his minerals. You know, the gas is building up a little bit. That's kind of normal in this matchup at this point in the game. But his minerals staying very, very low, at lower than 400 constantly. And Sen just moving a ton of units around the map. He has so many Zerglings. And I tell you, it is hard to actually control this many units as Zerg. You need so many hotkeys because Zerglings just pile up so fast.
Okay, he's running through there now. We do see Lurkers burrowing here. Actually, I think Sen's being a little bit wasteful with his units, but of course he can afford to be wasteful in moments like this. He will retreat, and I think for the time being, Sen might have to sit tight and start macroing up a few more units, but also for Draco's sake, Draco's going to have to be very cautious of a counterattack if he does attempt to move out.
That's right. You know, Draco, it looks like he has to do some damage. I think he knows that right now. You know, his minerals are dwindling. His natural expansion almost gone. His main going to go next. The third base he's barely been mining at, but Sen with full tech, he has to do something, so he is attacking now down at Sen's natural. And if this doesn't do something, which it will not, Draco is going to have to GG.
We do see a large size of Zerg units here moving down. Sen could potentially lose this bottom expansion here, but of course Sen is probably spending a lot of his money right now making sure more and more units are coming from these hatcheries, and unless Draco could take it out very quickly, I don't know if it's going to be enough time.
Yeah, you see, it looks like he just has Dragoons, and Archon, 4 High Templars, 3 Zealots left. Sen can just send units at this non-stop, you know, ultra lane, so cost-effective, one of the most cost-effective unit groups in the game. And this is going to be the end for Draco, man. I think he's going to realize, okay, nothing left for me to do here. Sen has outplayed me. I'm going to have to GG it. Look at how many ultras in back. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, when you get that many Ultralisks, it doesn't really matter how good your micro is. And you can see that Sen has this excess of Vespian gas, which is really quite scary if you're Protoss, because they can just keep making Ultralisks for what feels like forever. We can see the Ultralisks now moving up here to the base. I think this is going to be the straw that breaks the camel's back, or actually just the bat that beats the camel to death. I don't think
the nuclear bomb dropped on the camel.
The camel that was nuked. Okay, there it is. GG. Good game. Sen played really well from the very start to the very end.
Well, you know, that game, Sen really did dominate. I mean, he took that quick third base over on Draco's side of the map. Draco didn't scout it for a very long time. But, you know, Draco knows now, okay, Sen is actually, he's playing really smart against me. I'm going to have to scout a lot better because he is willing to take minor risks to gain an advantage against me.
Certainly true, and I think the next map that we're going to be using here is going to be really good for players like Sen and Draco because, of course, Destination is such an exciting map. It's another map where Protoss tend to fast expand, and of course Draco's pretty good at that. And Zerg most likely going to do a double expand, but we can't see the same type of strategy that we saw from Sen in game number 1. That's only a 4-player map trick.
Indeed it is. Well, let's take a look at this Destination map. You know, we've beaten this to death. It is such a good map, such a balanced map. That is why it is in the PokerStrategy.com Team Liquid Star League. And the ZVP stats, as you see, almost exactly at 50%. This is actually one of my favorite maps to watch ZVP on, but it's been played so much, it's almost completely standard at this point. You know, you get that third base on the high ground, you make a wall with Evolution Chamber or Hydra Den and a fourth hatchery, rather, and then that's going to allow you to take an easy fourth base at that mineral expansion behind you.
Expansions on this map, it can be pretty tough as the game progresses because you're slowly expanding closer and closer to your opponent, which means things like Dark Swarm Plague, Reavers, all very pivotal in a very long game on Destination. We know these guys are very capable of bringing us a long game, so let's keep an eye out for that.
All right, well, I think it's time to go, man. I want to see, can Draco come back against the monster that is Sen?
It's certainly possible. Let's get this game going and find out now.